How to clean and maintain a press brake. Hello everyone! During the operation of the press brake, the hydraulic oil needs to be replaced once a year. In addition to changing the hydraulic oil, there are these 5 areas that must be cleaned regularly. First, there is friction between the bottom of the upper punch and the sheet metal during bending. Sometimes bending operations on the bottom of the upper punch, specifically at the tip position, leave some metal oxide layers. We need to use a rag in a timely manner to remove the oxide layer and wipe it clean, because on the bottom of the upper punch there is some metal scrap or oxide layer. It will affect our bending angle. The second is the lower die, because the lower die during the V-groove bending process will experience friction. If sheet metal with an oxide layer on the surface during the bending process drops the oxide layer into the V-groove, then we need to use a rag to clean inside that V-groove, and then wipe our upper punch clean. We can see some black metal scrap. If this metal scrap accumulates inside the die for a long time, it will affect the bending angle, so it needs to be cleaned regularly. Next, open the clamps. Remove the die from the upper punch holder. After taking it down, you can see the die has a mounting surface and a tang. These positions need to be scrubbed regularly to ensure the mounting surface of the die is free of any impurities. This allows for a better fit with the clamp. The mounting surface at the bottom of the clamp also needs cleaning. This ensures a perfect connection. All upper punches must undergo this step. The machine's lower die also needs regular scrubbing. For example, if there is metal scrap on the bottom of the lower die installation, it will affect the bending angle during bending. So this mounting surface needs to be cleaned, including the bottom mounting surface, which also needs to be cleaned. After wiping, use an air gun to blow it dry. The touchscreen of the control system also needs cleaning. The touchscreen needs to be wiped clean at the beginning and end of every shift. Before cleaning the touchscreen, first, turn off the power. Use a clean and tidy cloth. Gently wipe the touchscreen. Next, clean the linear scales. We need to open the guard door. Wipe the linear scale. Y1 and Y2 similarly need wiping. After wiping, use the air gun to blow away dust as well. With the power turned off, you can scrub the guide rails of the beam. Including the back gauge fingers, which also need to be wiped clean. Use the air gun to blow the guide rails clean. This is the ball screw of the back gauge guide rail. Oil stains need to be wiped clean. Then use the air gun to blow off all the dust. After wiping the back gauge and ball screw clean, clean lubricating oil needs to be used to perform adequate lubrication. Assuming lubricating oil cannot be purchased temporarily, using the hydraulic oil added to the machine tank can also be used for lubrication. Our R-axis is inside the housing. Need to loosen this mounting screw and the mounting screw inside. We can see the transmission screw of the R-axis. We can use an air gun to blow clean the screw for R-axis lifting. Now wipe the Y-axis guide rail. Scrub the top of the guide rail clean. Wipe the guide rail on the other side. Next, use compressed air dried by an air dryer to clean the internal dust of the electrical cabinet. Open the electrical cabinet door. Use an air gun to blow the dust inside the electrical cabinet clean. After cleaning, the electrical cabinet can be closed. Now all cleaning work has been completed. Next, find a clean brush. To the areas of the machine tool requiring lubrication and rust prevention, apply oil. First, we must lubricate the dies. Apply oil to the upper punch. This can prevent the dies from rusting. The clamps also need oil lubrication. Then the V-groove of the lower die and the die base must all undergo oiling treatment. To the linear guide rails on the back gauge beam, brush oil for lubrication, including the back gauge fingers, which also need lubrication to prevent them from rusting. Apply oil lubrication to the X-axis transmission guide rails and ball screws. Next, lubricate the guide rails and screws of the R-axis. Since the upper punch is raised to the top, so first apply oil lubrication to the lower guide rails, including the inner side, which also needs oil brushing. Oil the guide rail on the other side. After applying, lower the ram to the bottom. Complete the coating of the upper guide rails on both sides.